Welcome to Papillion Unscripted. I am Michael Severe. It's the place to go to talk to people who truly help make Papillion feel like home. Two very special guests this week that definitely do that in a very unique way. Members of the Papillion Art Council. First, Ken Molzer joining us, of course, is Director of Pac Band and also the founder of the Pac Band and the leader right now of the Art Council, and also Al Rhea joining us, who is an artist and also helps us get the great gallery set up as well around town. We appreciate you guys for coming in. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
All right. Let's start off with you, Ken, and the Pac Band. Was that one of those passion projects for you to say, we need to give a place for people who've been playing all their lives, another place to play after they've kind of moved out of high school and college?
Exactly right. Back in the 80s when I was still teaching in junior high, I thought, well, we have a bunch of instruments under the bed or in the closet someplace, and give people a chance to get them back out and to play them again. So I worked with the recreation department to see if there was any interest. So we took a survey. That was back in '86, and yeah, there were a number of people that, oh yeah, I'd love to do that. So our first concert was in June of '86, and we had about 50 people involved, and so it's gone on since then. So that was, just having people use their talents and use their interest and play their instruments after high school or college.
Pretty awesome. Al, you've been an artist most of your life, sculptor, taking pictures. How did you first get into the idea of being an artist?
Oh, it was back in 1986, and well, you go back to high school. I was always taking art classes, and then I taught some help with little kid classes at Jocelyn. I went to Central High, across there is Jocelyn, and then left it for many years, and then in 1986 I went to Bellevue University and took some humanity classes, took some art classes, and it snowballed from there. My dad's a welder, and so I started with sculpture.
We always use the phrase, and it's behind you, feels like home. You really need a vibrant art scene, I think, for it to really feel like home. You agree with that? That all the things you guys do in the Art Council helps it feel more like home?
Well, that's one of the facets of any kind of community is whether it's industry or if it's business or whatever it is. And in our interest is the arts, expanding the arts, which kind of is a complete community. And so whether it's visual arts or whether it's performing arts, we feel it's very important if you're going to be a community that offers a lot to the people living in that community.
Yeah. Do you guys worry at all? I was talking to Georgie about a month ago, and she was concerned because the schools have kind of pulled back a little bit on some of the money they put towards art education. Are you concerned at all that maybe our younger people aren't getting what we got, or at least I got, and then you guys got when you were growing up?
I'll let the artists talk about
well, in the
that.
visual arts, we had our first annual high school art show at the library, and it was Papillion North and then Papillion South. Each of them had 2 months, and we want to make that an annual thing. And so, yeah, I was concerned about getting to high schools and showing that talent, and it was really a great show, both of them.
When you look at the Art Council for the future, kind of speaking what we're talking about with the kids, but going past that, what do you want to accomplish? Well, your remaining time where you're
just the support and the expansion of the arts. Just a little bit of background and history. The Arts Council was formed from a advisory group that started when the Sumter Amphitheater was taken over by the city back in 2007. And at that time, when the city annexed that, then the mayor at that time, and also Lori and the Parks Department, we should have an advisory board. So we established an advisory board to the amphitheater. So that functioned for about 4 years, and during that time, I guess maybe I brought it up, I says, I don't think they need an advisory board. Because at that time, Doug Huggins was, he was in charge, and Lori was taking, I said, they're operating without that. So then the city said, well, I think we need an arts council. So then in 2011 is when we did all the incorporation of getting the Arts Council going. So that was to establish, to support and expand. We're just an advisory board to the mayor.
Right.
And so at that time to do more with the arts. And then it just expanded from there because we've got the art gallery here in City Hall. We've expanded other ways. We've encouraged businesses to show artwork. Of course, we had the Pac Band was the performing group. Then we started the community theater, and so it's been going on. In fact, we even had our first dance of the dance. That's been one of our last. We're trying to get more dance involved.
Right.
And a couple weeks ago at the Sumter Amphitheater, we had a dance studio before the Pac-Man concert showing that.
Yeah.
So it's just a gradual thing to expand all the arts in the community, and we've had support with that. I don't see any concern that it's not going to expand, because we have a lot. Even in our own community, we have a number of artists.
Right,
a
definitely.
number of performers, and the theater group. So it's there. It's there. We just have to get it organized into different groups, and of course the support of the Arts Council.
Mentioning all those artists, you make sure that the gallery here at City Hall, and then also now over at Papillion Landing, which looks amazing too with those walls. How do you pick those artists? How do you find them?
Well, they're all Papillion artists, and initially, well, the City Hall Gallery's always been, we've been selecting Papillion people, Papillion artists, and it's a great gallery. It's 18 feet long, wall space, and 5 display cases. And yesterday I posted on the Facebook pages in Papillion. I'm looking for artists starting in October. Then we have the library gallery. That's a little larger. That's 2 30-foot walls and 2 display cases, and a lot of just my involvement in Papillion. I've got quite a list of Papillion artists, and we're like the library's booked out through middle of 2023.
Oh wow!
And the Landing is
there's
our
an interest.
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah.
Papillion Landing is the newest gallery.
Yeah.
And it's small right now, 45 feet, but I have talked to Tracy, who runs part of that over there, a recreation manager. She wants to expand it to another 45 feet, and that has a lot of opportunity there. And the library and the Landing, we can have group shows. I was just thinking, in the future, maybe you can even expand the Landing even more. I mean, it's like 300 foot of wall space there.
Right.
It'd be a great place for the high school. They have such large shows. So it's just joined the Art Council in 2014, and you just accumulate all these names and artists, and we have art down at the Tea Shop downtown, and Eagle Arts downtown, and they give me names, and so it's
Cool.
word of mouth.
Yeah, my son just finished the summer arts program over in OPS, and one of the teachers there that he works with was his instructor. Yeah. I'm assuming all the years that you taught, you must have some people that are in the band that you taught?
Yeah, that's some. That's some retreads.
Yeah. What's that like? People, somebody back when they were 13, 14, 15 or whatever now?
It makes me feel older, yes. No, I'm just happy to see that. And I have to smile because they still call me Mr. Molzer.
Right, exactly.
But that's why we set up the Pac-Man is to have people involved, and I'm always amazed who shows up. And it's a cycle. Some will be in Pac-Man for a while, and then they'll maybe raise a family, or whatever. Then they get them out of the way, and then they come. Oh, I'm going to start up again. So over the last 35 years, we've had over 550 people involved in the Pac-Man over those years.
Wow.
It's like a revolving door. They come in, they come out, and they're here for a while, and then they move to other places. But
You had that amazing tuba player that was playing with you guys last day of Papillion Days. Tell me about him, because I've heard a lot of tuba in my life. My son plays an instrument very similar. I've never heard it played quite as well as he did.
He's a real jewel. Alex Radowski, he was in the Air Force Band, and he retired. And I asked Alex if he'd like to join the Pac-Man. Oh yeah, he lives here in town.
Right.
I said, well, Alex, you're going to have to audition. We're a non-auditioning band, and you just come in, bring your instrument, and play.
Sure.
And so I mean, he's phenomenal. He's just phenomenal. So I said, I'd like to feature you as a soloist, and so give me a list. So he gave me a list of about 6 or 7 solos he had memorized. So I selected from there, and and he's just a joy to work with. He's just very, very humble, incredible musician.
Yeah, and if you didn't hear it, of course you guys did stream it, and so you can go on Facebook to their site and you can watch it. And there's a whole section where he's playing.
Yeah, so we have a plethora of musicians in the Pac-Man. We have a clarinet player that got his master's from Eastman School of Music and his doctorate in clarinet performance in Michigan, you know, from that
Wow.
caliber. And
Yeah.
and we have those that, oh, you know, I played in high school, can I play again? Well, sure, you
Yeah.
know. So yeah, it's really, yeah, it's just fun to see who comes and what kind of instrumentation. I'm always surprised with the instrumentation, like, okay, this is about what I'd select. You know?
Right, yeah, it's
You know,
pretty
we don't
good,
have
yeah.
18 flutes and one drummer or something like that. It's a pretty good instrumentation and a lot of support.
You mentioned your dad was an artist. I know you did some photography. You do macro photography? I was reading about that. What is macro photography?
Well, I really, in my photography interests, I'm looking for habitat in Nebraska, and butterflies are, of course, we have our monarch here, and
Right.
I have large gardens in the backyard, and so it's convenient. My habitat's right in my backyard.
Yeah.
And so I've been taking macro photography of butterflies, which is close-up
okay.
photography. You're within a foot of the subject. But I've also branched out into birds of Nebraska, and so in a lot of feeders, I'm trying to create my own environment in the backyard. But I also travel around Nebraska and take. Photographers have these projects, so right now birds are my project.
Do you feel you have a similar eye as your dad did?
Yeah, I still have some of his older equipment, telephoto lenses and stuff. So yeah, he must. He's a big influence in sculpture. I mean, welding. He taught me how to weld, and
Wow.
and then photography. I've used some of his equipment in the past. Now it's all digital,
Right.
but yeah, he's a big influence.
Yeah, my kids have to be in their 30s before I would have them anywhere near any welding equipment. I always ask this question. We highlight as many things as we can in the city. But is there something you think that maybe doesn't get highlighted enough that you want to point out, whether it's an event, an activity, a location in Papillion?
I guess we have a number of things going on. Well, when we have our Pac-Man concerts, you know, that's, of course, we'd like to see more people there.
Sure.
And I always say, the people that are in the band, we just play for our own enjoyment. And if we have an audience there, that's so much the better. But just different activities that are in the community that we need to go out. I want to dovetail on what Al was talking about photography. One of our public arts projects that we dubbed in with the 150 is the butterfly benches.
Oh, yeah.
That stemmed from the Arts Council, and then Al was very instrumental in that and helping with that, and so we were very, very pleased and happy to see the butterfly bench project as one of the few, because of COVID coming
Right.
in, and kind of put a damper on that. But yeah, and that's, we've got how many,
33.
33 in the community, and all different artists.
Right.
And did those. So that is a public arts that we have given to the community, and you can enjoy
Yeah.
the public art and in the benches. And Al was very instrumental in doing the model and then all the concept with that. So that's
Right.
and we're happy with that. That's
Yeah, that could certainly be something you could do, that go around and find each one of them and check them off. What about you for Al? Al, is there a certain thing, an activity, a location that you'd like to point out in Papillion that maybe doesn't get enough attention?
Well, as Ken mentioned, the butterfly project was a great activity for last year, and so more public art. I'm always thinking about other projects, and
Right.
and we're open to ideas from the public. We have a meeting of the Arts Council the first Wednesday every month, and it's open to the public. So, got an idea, bring it in.
That's awesome. We appreciate it. And also, we didn't talk a lot about the singers as well, right? The Papillion singers, which they had their first live concert. People came out. It's pretty cool. They practiced over at the church.
Right.
I listened to them. They're very talented.
Yeah.
They're very good.
and that was an offshoot of the 150,
Right.
Because we combined the Pac band and had a community chorus, and then a lot of them said, "Hey, can we keep it going?" So
Yeah.
and then that started the next phase of the Pac singers. We have the
Right.
Pac band, the Pac singers. So it's kind of working on the word Pac.
Yeah,
PAC.
it is pretty
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Guys, we appreciate you coming in, taking the time, and all you do for the city of Papillion. That's pretty cool.
It's our pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank
Very
you.
much. We appreciate them, and of course, join us next time when we again speak to someone who truly makes Papillion feel like home.